Okay, I just want to quickly go over the fidget spinners we're going to be reviewing in this video. These are the same ones I opened up during the last unpackaging. This one is called the Pro Glide, and it's on the website it says it's called the Moonshine, I guess, so I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the first one. And then we have this little one here from TOOBOM, or TOOBOM, I guess you say it. It's a little black and gold fidget spinner, little TRISPINNER, and it looks really nice and feels pretty good from what I can see so far. It makes a nice pattern when you spin it. So that's number 2. And then we have this six wing fidget spinner from AUKWING. That's number 3. And we have one from APSUNG, little triangular spinner. And then we have, oh, this one that's got a lot of packaging from a company called SPARIN. Let me see if I can get this unpackaged again. It's a copper spinner. And then we have this Pirate Skull and Crossbones fidget spinner, which seems a little nicer than the last one I did, so I'm looking forward to that one. Okay, so we'll get on to the testing now. We're going to test these each 6 times for spin duration using the air hose to speed them up, and then we'll get back with you to review them. Okay, I just got done testing these 6 fidget spinners. This is a little bit different than before. I opened up just 6 of these things, and I didn't do a loser video this time. I just went ahead and tested whatever I had. The result is that I got a little bit of I've got some lower end fidget spinners here. These are all fairly inexpensive fidget spinners. None of them have really great run times or spin durations, but they all, most of them anyway, are pretty decent. So I'm going to go through these, and I'm probably going to recommend quite a few of them. The first one here is this one from AUKWING. This is probably the worst one I've got from AUKWING so far. It only got a spin duration of 3 minutes and 33 seconds, which wasn't very good. Most of the ones from AUKWING that I've had I've ended up recommending. This one has some positive things about it. I thought that the little rubber O-rings around these things would be a hindrance, but actually they help quite a bit. They let you grip it a little bit better, and the thing runs really smooth. You can spin it like this and turn it side to side. It's extremely smooth. There's no clacking or clanging or anything, so it's actually pretty fun to play with. This one here, I'm it only cost $9.86 on Amazon, and it's got an R188 bearing in it, and it's a little bit unbalanced, so you get a little bit of a thump in it. Not too much though, just a little bit. And generally it's pretty fun to play with for $9.98. That's quite a bargain actually, so I'm going to recommend getting this one if you spend a little bit of money and get something that's halfway decent. And it's really easy to use, works really well no matter how you play with it. So that's a pretty good one. But again, not a very long run time, so it didn't score very high on my overall score. It only got a 5.8 overall score, and that's mostly because it didn't have a very long run time, but for that much money it's not too bad. The next one is this APSUNG. I just called it the triangle. This is from AppSong. The first thing about this that you really gotta know is it clangs. It's like jingle bells, you know. It makes a lot of noise. That's those little ball bearings in here that are clanging around. It got an average spin time of 4 minutes and 48 seconds, and it has a 606 hybrid bearing in it, and I was going to show you this one because this is a little bit of an unusual bearing. Let me see if I can get this out of here. You see these around sometimes. I've got a few that are like this. It doesn't have a cage, so let me take this off and see if I can show you what this looks like. And it's going to be difficult, of course. Give me just a minute here. Had this one off before and it took a while to get it off. Bearing in here, it has no cage holding the ball bearings apart, so they can just spin around freely however they want, and they move to one side and this and that. I'm not sure if that's really a good thing, but some bearings are like that. It's a pretty unique bearing. This thing cost that's a 606, of course, a hybrid, and this thing costs $13.99 on Amazon. It weighs 78 grams, and obviously it's made of some kind of metal. I think it's made of steel. I'll put that back together later. That one got a spin time of 4 minutes and 48 seconds. And it got an overall score of 5.94, which makes it kind of average. But again, it feels really good to spin. It's very easy to use, and it feels good in your hands. So again, I would recommend getting it for that much money. It's only $13.90 or $13.99, and that's that one. The next one is this pirate skull. I did one of these way back when I started doing this. There was a a different skull and crossbones spinner. This one, I gotta say, is a lot better than that other one. That other one, once it came out, it popped up all over the internet in every color imaginable. This one I found on Amazon, and it's a lot better than those other ones. It's got pretty substantial bones to it, so it's got a lot of weight to it. Spins really well, and it feels really good. No wobble when you go side to side. It's very smooth. It's got an R188 bearing, and it weighs 61 grams. And I think it's made out of copper, and it's got this nice finish to it, so it looks kind of antiqued. But this one works a lot better than that other one that's all over the place. And I'd recommend getting this one instead. It still only costs $13.99. So it's actually really fun to play with it. It's very easy to hold, and it spins really well. So for a novelty spinner like this, it works out really well. I'm pretty happy with this one. And that one is it got an overall score. Oh, I didn't write down its overall score, but it got an average spin time of 5 minutes and 22 seconds. So I'm sure it got a score of around 6 or 7. That one comes highly recommended for the money, which is only $13.99. It's a very good spinner to get. And then we have the SPARIN copper. I thought I was going to have trouble with this one, but what happened when I first opened this up, the little cover that holds the bearing in place was loose, so it was causing all kinds of trouble in there. Once I got that tightened up, it worked out pretty well. Got an average spin time of 5 minutes and 34 seconds. This one, again, I got on Amazon for only $13.99, or I'm sorry, $17.99, and it weighs 81 grams, and it's made of copper. I gave it a pretty good appearance score of 7, or a subjective score of 7, and I got an overall score of 5.56. Average spin time of 5 minutes and 34 seconds. The only big problem I had with this one was it didn't like to spin vertically. If you put it like this vertically, it only spins for a few minutes. And of course, because of that, it got a pretty high variability score, and its overall score was reduced. But it feels really good. It's easy to use, fun to play with. So that's that. Dropping everything today. So that one comes recommended also. $17.99. It's worth it. And the next one, this one's kind of a cheapo. It comes from this company called TOOBOM or TOOBOM or whatever. It's kind of a small tri-spinner, and it's got a 606 bearing in it. Didn't have a very long spin time. 5 minutes and 34 seconds, which, well, that's not too bad actually. Not too bad of a spin time. 5 minutes and 34 seconds. Got an overall score of 5.8. And it only costs $11.98 on Amazon, and it weighs 38 grams. So it's kind of a small, light tri-spinner. The coolest thing about it is actually it's got this metal, these little pieces in there, which luckily did not fly off during testing. They've got this gold pattern, and when you spin it, I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but it makes a very nice pattern when you spin it. Easy to use, doesn't cause any trouble. When you move it side to side, it's all nice and smooth. And that one, for the price of $11.98, well worth it. Although it doesn't have a very long spin time. And the last one, this is probably the one I had the most trouble with. This is called the Pro Glide or Moonshine, whatever they called it on the internet. It's basically a solid piece of aluminum with a black matte finish and a bevel around the outside. It's shaped pretty much like your standard plastics fidget spinner. And it pretty much feels like that too. It's nothing really different than that. It doesn't go any better or worse. It got a pretty bad spin time, only 2 minutes and 21 seconds on average. And I cannot get the caps off, so I can't tell you what kind of bearing it has. If to get the caps off, I would have to put a couple of wrenches on there, and I'd mess it all up. I don't want to do that. So it's going to remain a mystery as to what type of bearing that has. But it didn't spin very long, and this kind of continues the trend with aluminum fidget spinners. I can't get any of them to run very long. And I'm not sure why. I mean, obviously aluminum is very light, but you know, titanium is pretty light too, and some of those spin very long. So again, we have another aluminum fidget spinner that doesn't spin very long. But this thing I consider pretty much equivalent to a plastic fidget spinner. I'm not really going to recommend it because it costs $22.98, and that's probably a little bit pricey for what you're getting here. So I would leave this one alone probably and just play with a plastic one. It's not bad, it's just, you know, I can't see what's too much better than a plastic spinner. And that is all for those. So we have this video with kind of cheap fidget spinners, unlike some of the other ones I've done recently. But I think it's good to go through and look at some of the less expensive ones and see what you get. I think you can get pretty much a pretty good deal on some of these. The SPARIN one is nice, and this Skull and Crossbones I think is the real winner of the bunch. It really feels nice to use, and I wish they'd put the skull on both sides. I don't know why they don't put the skull on both sides. They put it on one side but not the other. You have regular standard cap on the other side. But this one's pretty fun. I'd get on Amazon and get this. I haven't seen this one on eBay at all, so I think it's just on Amazon, and I'll give you the link for that. Luckily, the links for all 5 of these are still active, unlike the previous video I did where none of them were active. But these things are still all available, and that's about it. We'll see you later.